Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how I helped this e-commerce brand bring in over 60,000 per month in revenue with SEO. So let's go ahead and dive in right away. So the results, like I said, this is additional 60,000 per month in revenue, which was a 39% increase. This is a brand that sells specifically cotton clothing. And so you can see just kind of the graph year over year here. So they went from 163,000 per month to 213,000 per month. And scrolling down, they now rank for over 700 keywords in position number 1. So this is just position number 1. They're ranking for a lot more keywords, position 2, position 3, but over 700 keywords at their number 1 spot for. And these are all related to cotton clothing, organic clothing. You can see they're ranking cotton clothing, 100 cotton clothing, which is when people search for 100% cotton clothing. And these keywords get searched a lot too. Search volume, we have 6,600 times per month, 4,400 times per month. These are keywords that get searched a lot, and this traffic is really, really good because it's so specific. They have exactly what these people are searching for, and it converts really well. So that's why their revenue has taken such a jump, is because the keywords that they're ranking for are just really, really relevant keywords. So this has been huge. Before we started working together, they didn't have really any SEO traction whatsoever. None of these keywords they were anywhere close for. So these keywords and plenty more outside of these ones just in the screenshot have made a really big difference for them. So let's go ahead and get into the strategy now. So first thing I want to talk about is technical SEO. So I don't like to spend more time than I have to on technical SEO. That being said, there are always just some big things that I look at with e-commerce brands to make sure that there's nothing holding them back from getting really good results. So one of the first things I saw, which was absolutely crazy, was they had over 100 backlinks that were pointing to 404 pages on their site. So if you don't know what a backlink is, basically just when another website links to your site. Super important for SEO. It's one of the most important ranking factors, is getting really good sites to link to you. So they had over 100 of these sites that were linking to pages that were 404 pages. And so a 404 page is a broken page on the site, doesn't lead anywhere. And when that happens, those backlinks don't help you at all. It doesn't pass any sort of authority. So they had over 100 of those that they were not getting any value out of. So what we did was we 301 redirected those 404 pages to just the most relevant similar page on the site. So if it was a product that just went out of stock, we'd just redirect that to a very similar product. If they didn't have a similar product, if it was a very unique product, we would then redirect it to the category level. So it would just be that collection page. This made a really big difference for them because they went from not getting value from those links at all to getting value out of them. And so this was a really big one that we implemented. Shocked me when we saw it, but it was a really big difference when we implemented it. So that was cool. They also had duplicate collection pages, duplicate product pages, kind of some weird situations there that I think were holding them back. So we made sure to actually go through, make sure we didn't have the duplicate collection pages. We deleted ones that were duplicates that we didn't need. We made sure products were consolidated in a way that ranking signals were going to just one product URL. Which was more beneficial from the Google Shopping aspect, but they get traffic from traditional SEO, Google Shopping. Now we're starting to get more into the large language model space, which they're showing up really well for too. But yeah, so that was really the biggest technical cleanups that we did. Site speed was decent. It was good enough. That's another area where a lot of people get really hung up by getting the perfect site speed score, when you just need a site that loads fast enough that users are happy with it. Beyond that, you kind of hit a point of diminishing returns, really, because you take a website speed from going pretty fast to super fast, that's not really going to help your SEO. So that's something maybe you can work on down the line from a UX standpoint, but for SEO, I don't want to put too much time into that because that can be an absolute black hole. So technical SEO, they didn't have a ton of things, but the things they did have were really impactful. So those were the main things that we implemented from the technical standpoint. On page, nothing fancy here, honestly. We made sure their biggest collection pages, the ones that were the most important, we made sure that those were optimized because right from the start, they really weren't ranking for anything that was super impactful. So we wanted to hit the ones that were going to make the biggest difference the quickest. So optimized their existing collection pages, made sure they were targeting keywords that were going to be really helpful for them to show up for. We also optimized their product pages. That was a really big missed opportunity for them because their product titles were not keyword rich at all. And when we got those a little bit more specific, it is really interesting because it helped their SEO quite a bit. They started showing up in Google Shopping more, but it actually helped their ads, their Google ads that they were running. They were running Performance Max campaigns, and the campaigns didn't have a ton to work off of because their product titles were just not very good. And so when we got a lot more specific and we added more keywords to the titles, even the ad campaigns started to understand the products better, and it started to push them out to the right people. And so when we saw our SEO lift, we saw our ads do really well too. So that was really interesting, and it's something I don't handle the ad side of things at all. It was just kind of a side thing that benefited from it. So it wasn't even my intent, but they got a really sweet benefit that way too, which was really cool to see. Then what we did was after we optimized their existing collection pages and product pages, then we moved on to find new opportunities, new collection pages to create, which they had quite a few opportunities there, just different ways to categorize your products, really. So you can usually find this when you're just looking through keywords, looking at the keywords your competitors are ranking for, and just kind of using your brain to see what are other ways we can categorize these products, even if it's the same products in the categories, but like what are other ways people are searching for these types of products? Create collection pages for those too, because if you want to rank for a keyword, you have to have a dedicated page set up for it. That's just the way Google works. They're not going to be able to really do the thinking too much. Like if you don't have a page for it, you're just not going to show up for it. So having as many collection pages as you can just for different ways to categorize these pages is just a really helpful way to look at it. So in this case, instead of just having cotton clothing, we need to make sure we have cotton shirts, cotton tank tops, cotton pants, cotton leggings, cotton, all of that. And even just really take that to the next level and try to go deep with that. So that was something that made a really big difference for them. Just adding the new collection pages on top of what they already had. So those are more of the basic on-page SEO things that we did. Like I said, it's nothing too fancy here. It's just a matter of knowing what you need to show up for, what are the keywords that are going to make the biggest impact, and having a page in place that is relevant for that keyword. So that was on-page SEO. The next side that is super important for SEO, we talked a little bit about it, is the backlinks. So there's really two sides of authority here. So there's topical authority, there's site authority. First thing we did was we wanted to build really good topical authority. And the way I don't do this is I don't just blast out a bunch of blog posts to try to become topically relevant. I have seen a lot of sites do that. It just doesn't work very well. It's not about necessarily topical coverage. It's about topical authority. We really need to be seen as an authority in the space. We don't just need to cover everything. So what we did was we focused, instead of just building out a bunch of blog content to try to build traffic that way, what we did was we found about 2 or 3 different blog posts that were going to be really, really impactful, like some of the biggest topics. In this case, we wrote content around the type of fabric that this brand uses. And it was a really big topic. It's something that people are very interested in and searching a lot around. So we made sure to create blog posts around those, which really helped us because we were showing up for some of these fabric related keywords that got searched a ton. And it really drove topical authority for this site because on top of cotton clothing, they sell an even more specific type of cotton. And it's a really, really good cotton. And so for us to be showing up for those keywords, it really tied us in. Like Google could really see we were an authority in that space, which was really good. So that was more of the topical authority side. Then as far as actually building backlinks, we took really a hybrid approach here. We took a digital PR approach, and then we took a guest building and link insert approach. So the digital PR strategies that we use, the main purpose there was to just get some of those really big hitter links, some links from really big publications in the fashion space. And so we were able to get them featured, we were able to get them quoted in all sorts of big name publications that all link to their homepage. So most of these digital PR links like this, they're going to link to the homepage. And that's really helping you build overall site authority. That's going to help everything rank better. So that's really, really impactful to have those really big links, but it's also helpful to have links that are pointing directly to the specific pages you're trying to get ranked. So in a lot of cases, it's going to be a collection page. And so what I did was I would go out, build guest posts and link inserts on other fashion publications. And the key here is the selection that you're using when you're actually reaching out to sites to do guest posts and link inserts. It has to be, you really have to be thinking quality here, because you could go out, build 100 guest posts, 100 links on just random sites, and probably not going to help you at all. But if you're really, really targeted with this approach, and you're, in this case, we made sure that the publications, the magazines, whatever it was, we made sure that it was very specific to the fashion industry, and they were actively bringing in traffic, organic traffic, in the fashion space. That's a really good signal that we want to be published on that site. And so those were the types of blogs and publications that we were focusing on. And so we were able to build guest posts, link inserts from those types of sites that really helped our authority. And so throughout this entire process, when we built these links, kind of really, really leaned into the authority side of things, you just see things pop off. You see the collection pages you're building links to, they start to increase like crazy. With especially in line with the digital PR strategies that we implemented, just really trying to take an approach where we're building as much authority as we possibly can. So yeah, that was a really big step, is the authority side of things. And they were able to see some awesome results from all of these pieces. The biggest thing is not necessarily coming up with a list of actions to implement from the SEO side of things, but it's really prioritizing them and understanding, how does this all come together? How can we implement this in a way where we're truly going to see the lifts in the keywords, which is ultimately going to bring us the traffic and revenue that we want. So that's just kind of a really big piece, making sure it all comes together, because if it doesn't, you're just not going to see the results like this. So next steps, if you have a 7 to 8 figure fashion brand and you want results like this for your fashion brand, I'll go ahead and leave a link right down in the description here, where you can book a time to meet with me, and we can just chat and see if we'd be a good fit to work together. All right, thanks for watching.